Our house is on all electric. There's no propane. There are some people up here on the mountain that have propane, and we're not one of those people. In the event of power outages, which happen all the time up here in the mountain, don't we lose power all the time?
Yeah.
All the time. We need a generator. We've been running a 5,000 watt generator for backup for the camper, but for the house, we need a lot more strength. So this is the Generac GP 17500E. It's the biggest portable generator that they have. One 50 amp outlet and three 30 amp outlets, and then a bunch of other 20 amp 12 volt outlets. All right, so let's unbox it. All right, Audrey, you gotta get off so I can take the box off. Oh, gotcha. All right, you'll lift. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Look at that bad boy. It came with the gas cap off. I got a little freaked out by that, but it's actually inside this box here. It comes with a large hook so that if you actually have like a tractor, you could hook it onto a chain on your front loader or whatever, backhoe, whatever, and transport it. Let's take a look inside the box here. We've got some components here. It looks like we've got some electrical wires, oil filter, air filter, and the gas cap. And then everything in here is for the wheel assembly so that I can cart this thing around. So I'm gonna get to work putting this together so we can set it over on the other side of the house. All right, I had to go inside and put another layer underneath. It's getting cold. All right, so the instructions aren't super detailed. I think I'm just gonna have to figure this out as I go. So here we go. So far, the build quality looks pretty decent on the generator. The powder coating on all the metal parts on the frame looks pretty good. I'm going to be building an enclosure for this. This is a huge investment. The Amazon price when I bought this was $2,999. So I'm definitely going to be putting in the time to protect it with an appropriate enclosure. It's right next to the house. If I can build some kind of soundproof box that is watertight and also helps this have the adequate amount of ventilation, if I can achieve that in one housing unit, I'm going to certainly try. So obviously we'll get to that after a little while here. For now, I'm going to be covering it with a tarp. I'll put a piece of plywood on top, and then I'll wrap it really tight with the tarp so that it's not sitting out in the rain. All right, so this rail, the handle I should say, is going to go here. Ouch. All right, that snapped right in there. Like I said, they really don't have the best instructions for assembly here. It just has a picture with the main components, and then it just has, you know, insert these parts. And they've got little alphabetical labels for all of the pieces of hardware. So I just gotta take some time and figure it out. All right, so I went inside, figured out that these bolts for the handle are 13mm sockets, or wrench or whatever. So start putting this together here. If you are watching this video for the generator and you're new to our channel, we try to do videos about homesteading. We've got our house build going on at the moment. We got chickens and hopefully getting pigs and meat birds, Cornish cross chickens in the future. Basically, you know, little mountain life. We're trying to live our life on our little mountain and be a little more self-sufficient. We're not going off-grid, or at least not yet, but try to be a little more self-sufficient and provide really good food for our family. So I'm just tightening up the rest of these bolts, and then we'll move on to the wheel assembly. All right, I don't want to over-tighten those, but that is solid. Good to go. Now, this came delivered, shipped on a pallet, and holding it to the pallet, you got some bolts down here. So I'm gonna work on detaching those, and then hopefully we can get the wheels mounted on this bad boy. It's a 13mm for these bolts, and for the bolts down there, it looks like it's an 11. All right, it's actually the next day. I was losing light and needed to get back inside. There's not a lot of light left today. I'm really gonna try to bust my rear end and get these wheels on. And I really wanna get some fuel in this and get this tested to make sure everything's in working order. And hopefully we will have some hot water this weekend. All right, so that was not necessarily easy. I mean, it wasn't difficult though, just hard work getting those tires and that kickstand on. Let's see how it feels to move around. Well, that ain't bad. It certainly is not lightweight. It's not bad either. Alright, let me pull it up here. We'll get some motor oil inside of it. You can see here, this is one of the two packages that they shipped. SAE 30 Generac Premium 4-cycle small engine oil. I'm sure any SAE 30 works just fine, but it is nice to have the oil that the factory provides. So we got our oil fill cap right here. Looks like I can just like start squirting it in. Yeah, so far so good on this purchase as far as like the quality of what I'm seeing so far. This is the third generator I've purchased. The first two have both been Harbor Freight Chinese generators. I don't have too much of quality to compare it to. I'm just hoping for the best here. You can certainly spend more on a 17,000 watt generator. I don't know if you can spend less. So we'll see. Almost feels like one of those pouches of applesauce you feed your little kid. And after I get this in there, I need to double check the specs of the engine to see how much it holds. This pouch is 32 fluid ounces. Interesting, I never thought of it this way. It says this pouch helps lower landfill waste compared to a plastic bottle. It certainly compresses to a smaller footprint in the landfill, so I guess I believe that. You're losing light here, but I hope you're enjoying the view as much as I am. Again, if you're new to the channel, we moved up here mainly because of the view. I always wanted to get away from suburbia myself, and my wife loves the view, and so we're starting up our homestead up here, and part of starting a homestead is dealing with power, or the lack thereof. And we lose power all the time up here on the mountain. In fact, the mountain lost power yesterday. And we actually didn't lose power, but up above us did, because a tree fell uphill from us. But they were without power for 20 hours they were without power. So we're kind of on our own. We're the last stop for the power company. Never really done an unboxing before, so let me know down below in the comments how good or horrible this is. Hopefully I can edit it down and keep you guys interested. And I'm assuming you came here to check out the generator and not me. All right, so we've got engine oil in. Let's add some gas. Yeah, so this is a nice big tank for a nice big engine. This tank holds 16 gallons of gasoline with an approximate run time at 50% draw of 10 hours. So my hope is that, you know, if we lose power in the middle of the winter and we're relying on this to supply our radiant heat in the floor to keep our feet from freezing, that it'll run all night long, and I'll just have to fill it up in the morning. We're almost ready to start it up. what I'm doing right now is I'm checking out the air filter area, because they sent an air filter in the package. You got your trickle charger for your battery, you got an air filter here, and you got a replacement oil filter. So it already had an oil filter on it, so this will be a replacement for down the road, and I'm not sure if there's one of these inside, air filter inside or not. So probably a good idea to check for myself and make sure that there is one in here. That way I'm not starting up a brand new engine without an air filter. All right, so what I did is I took out a little bolt from there and a bolt from here, and I lifted up, and this hose came out. So I'm lifting up here and kind of scooting this back out of the way, and now you can see that the air filter is right there. So yeah, let's put that bad boy back on and start it up. That's down in place. Push and hold to engage starter. So you got a little switch here, you push up and hold it down to start and push it down to stop it. Looks like there's our choke. All right, so I finished connecting the battery together, and I've verified that everything is good to go. I turned the fuel line on or open. I made sure that the idle control switch was off, and pull out the engine choke. Press and hold the start, run, stop switch in the start position. When the engine starts, release the switch to the run position. Here we go. All right. So that was exciting. So, there's an idle switch on here. I'm going to go turn on the idle switch and we'll see the engine idle down. All right, so let's talk about that first startup. Definitely, I think when I was initially pressing the on button and holding it down, it was just trying to get some gas circulating. So I'm not worried about the big puff of smoke. It still had some kind of oils and all that kind of stuff from the factory that was still inside of it. But once it started getting the fuel, it ran really well, I think. I don't have any really big time experience with big time generators, but I think it's a good startup for now. I verified that it does work. Hopefully later on this weekend I can actually test it under a load, and we're going to try to get us some hot water flowing here, because it's going to be a little while until the power company gives us power to our house. So for now I think that's it. The Generac 17500E, big hefty generator, and we're looking forward to using it. We will be sure to update you guys later on and let you know how it performs. Thanks for checking in on our Little Mountain Life channel.